Hi, my name is Grant Kramer, and I'm a professor emeritus at the University of Nevada, Reno. Today, I will be continuing my series on my backyard vineyard, Season 3, Episode 9, I think it is, on magnesium treatments. So I noticed some symptoms in my vineyard that were rather quite striking, as you see here.
The leaves were bright red with green veins. The leaves are the older leaves on the vine. The younger leaves are still green, and if you notice, the vines on the right don't show any of these symptoms, so there's clearly variation between the vines.
And at first, I wasn't sure what these symptoms were, but in further research and talking to colleagues, I discovered that these are the symptoms of magnesium deficiency. Now, I'm normally used to magnesium deficiencies showing interveinal chlorosis in the older leaves, but normally that magnesium deficiency shows up as an interveinal yellow chlorosis between the green veins, a quite characteristic symptom, and in particular, it shows up in the older leaves rather than the younger leaves. So the younger leaves remain dark green. The opposite of that would be like iron deficiency, which would show up in the younger leaves with the interveinal chlorosis, and the older leaves would remain green. So this is a classic symptom of magnesium deficiency, but in most red grapes, magnesium deficiency shows up as a interveinal reddening as a chlorosis. Chlorosis meaning the disappearance of the chlorophyll molecule, which is green.
As you recall, for the soil analysis, the magnesium concentrations were just between medium and low, but apparently sufficient. However, the petiole analysis did indicate that the concentrations of magnesium were a little bit low. I didn't make much of this because I didn't think there was a problem, but clearly I was wrong, as the plant symptoms clearly show magnesium deficiency in some vines, but not in others. You may recall that the soil and the petiole analysis are averages of the entire vineyard, whereas each of these plants are having their own soils, which may have a lot of variability, and that's why symptoms are showing up in one plant and not another. This also shows that petiole analysis is more accurate than a soil analysis of your vine's health and mineral nutrition.
So under the recommendations of the bag of magnesium sulfate that I bought, which is Epsom salts that you can find in your local stores or online, for a soil drench, the recommendations are 2 to 4 tablespoons of magnesium sulfate to a gallon of water.
So after identifying the symptoms, I irrigated 2 vines that had severe and slight interveinal chlorosis to see what the impact of the magnesium soil drench would have. Then on June 21st, I irrigated on the right vineyard rows 1, 3, 5, and 6 with the magnesium soil drench treatment as well.
The other rows I did not irrigate. On June 22nd, I then made up a spray of iron EDDHA for spraying on the right vineyard, and I sprayed the entire vineyard with iron to counteract any potential iron deficiency, since the petiole analysis showed that iron was also low in the vines. And I added then in the last gallon 2 tablespoons of magnesium sulfate, and I sprayed all the vines again except for row 2, so that the vines did not have any magnesium.
The vines 1 through 5 in row 2.
Vine number 7, the one that showed the most significant symptoms, received the soil drench as well as a spray on the leaves.
Several days after the magnesium treatments, the vines looked greener, and there was no further progression of the magnesium deficiency symptoms that were observed before.
Then on July 4th, I sprayed all vines with that same iron magnesium spray, again, which consisted of 1 teaspoon of iron concentrate that I made up and 2 tablespoons of magnesium sulfate per gallon. In initial viewing of the vines, it looks like the magnesium sulfate soil drench was more effective than the magnesium sulfate sprays, perhaps because there's more magnesium getting to the root system, although the spray you might think would get the magnesium there quicker. I also repeated the sprays again on July 13th. At this point, some of the vines still look yellowish.
So let's look at some examples of some of the vines. This is the vine that is a severe magnesium deficiency. It was given the magnesium sulfate soil drench treatment on June 20th. And we can see 10 days later that the vines have greened up a little bit. Note that the red portions of the leaves never clear up and turn green again, even after a month. Thus, these symptoms seem to be more permanent. However, in the newer leaves, they remain a strong, healthy green, and no symptoms show up in the future. They remain healthy green. This is also true for another vine with milder symptoms. The vine never fully greens up, but the younger leaves at the ends of the vines still remain dark green and do not get any worse after magnesium treatment. This is a picture of the entire vineyard with rows 1 being on the left that shows before and after treatments of magnesium deficiency. You can see that the leaves are maintaining their greenness and not progressing towards more magnesium deficiency symptoms, but some yellowing remains on the older leaves of some of the vines, especially in row 2 that did not get the soil drench treatment.
Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, then please like it on my YouTube channel, where you'll find other interesting videos like this one on nutrient deficiencies, on viticultural practices, on winemaking practices, and even on plant physiology. Have a great day.